Hello and welcome back. In this session, we're going to be talking about Sparx Search. We're going to focus on this one capability. We'll briefly touch on these other find search capabilities, but we're going to be focused on find in project model search. And we're going to use actually the Sparx tables themselves. We're going to import those in. I currently have already done that. I will show you how to do that in a later video if you're interested, but we really just want to focus on project search, some of the capabilities that are available to you in project search. We're going to go through the tooling that you see here and how to effectively use it to find your own data, find your own intelligence. You're going to learn how to find particular subjects in your project. You'll learn how to use the tooling here to toggle on filtering capabilities. We'll dive more into that. You can field choose anything that's not already there. You're going to learn how to drop things you're not interested in. Maybe you're not interested in talking about stereotypes. Maybe you're not interested in any other data results that's here. You're going to learn how to say, hey, I want to look at everything by type, create pivot views of your data, and you're going to learn more. All right, so let's get started. You can get to model search. If you go up in the upper left here, you see an explore panel or group. You'll notice that explore is part of all of the tab ribbons. So you're able to get to search anytime you want, right? And so once we're in find in project, we have a plethora of search capabilities that are available. And I'll talk about each one of these here in just a moment. Another way to get to search very quickly is simply hit Control F and it will bring it up at any particular point, right? So once we bring it up, let's learn how to use model search for what we want to find. So let's start in the very upper left side here. This is your search box. And in some of the SQL that you're going to see used, this is optional and you'll know when to use it and where to use it, right? The next one are your search categories. So these are things that are created for you. Almost everything in here is created by Sparx and available, and we'll go through a couple of them. And then you'll notice down here, my searches. These are custom searches that you or I create that's available for it. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. So when you go into a particular category here, when you choose one, you're going to have some search capabilities available for you that have been written. So if I go into just common searches, I have simple, extended, search element name, and so on. I'll let you play around with that. Next, let's go to the next icon here. If you mouse over any of these, they'll tell you or give you a hint about what they are. All right. So the first one here is new search. So you're able to create your own searches. You can use the query builder, you can use the SQL editor, and so on, all right? But we're going to focus on SQL editor, as well as we're going to look at the search options that are available to you out of the box, primarily using query builder, but you're able to create your own searches. And if you ever need help, there's a help button here. And if you select it, it goes out to the Sparx site on the subject and can step you through it. The next feature that's available is copy search. So if you find a particular search, let's find baseline in here, you can select copy and you can create your own custom use of this already canned capabilities. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. All right. The next one that you see here is edit search. So any of the searches, whether they're canned or your own, you can bring up the edit window, and let's do that now. And this is the SQL that Sparx wrote, and you can use this as these as learning aids and copy and reuse these and modify them to fit your particular needs. So we're going to leave this window open as we're going through. So you have Query Builder, which is not available. That's not what this was based off of. But if we go back up to Simple, you'll see that it's using the Query Builder. Now you have Scratchpad available where you can write your own SQL at any time. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But we're going to go through a couple of these mostly used search capabilities, and we're going to expose them either using Query Builder or the SQL edit screen or window that's available. The next feature here is delete search. Now you can't delete a canned Spark, so it won't allow you to damage your instance, but you can delete your own searches. So if you created your own custom searches, you can delete those. So if you look in here, I've got a search SQL string in here for connectors, find element by name, and more, right? And I can delete these. So if we go to find element by name, we're going to recreate this particular search capability in here, but you can delete this out of your capabilities, all right? So we're going to save it, so we're allowed to delete it, and now it is gone. That is no longer available. So you can play around as much as you want with your own custom searches and remove or modify them, manage them at any time. The next feature is a drop-down that provides you some tooling for looking at notes, editing notes. If you create your own search, you can export them and share them with a project team or other efforts. You can import those into those that have been provided to you. You can import them into your project and more. We'll talk more about this as we proceed. And as usual in Sparx, there's a plethora of help for you. So this is help content. If you select this, it launches the Sparx Help Center focused on model search and will help you get through any questions, hopefully, as you proceed. Otherwise, ask your questions in this channel and I'll try to help you, all right? So next, let's talk about the search results area of this capability, all right? So the bar that you see, the header that you see, are the fields that were chosen by the SQL string. So this is the simple, this is what you see in the simple search that's available here. But if we go down to, and let's use find baseline again, and what we're going to do is run it, and you can see that now the header bar has been changed based on how Sparx or yourself has painted how you want the header bar. So if you look at this as, it will tell you that, well, we want document notes as baseline notes, or you can so baseline note version as, and this is typically done in any SQL. So those of you who are familiar with SQL understand how you can build these table views. Next, if you right click in here, you have the ability to toggle on and off your filter bar. So I'm going to turn it off. I like having it up. So you right click up here, turn it on. This allows you to look for particular elements that are in there. So let's just look at fiber. I'm just starting to type fiber and you see it filters it out and it finds everything that has fiber in it in a particular view. In your search results, you get all of the other features that are available in Sparx. So if I right click on a particular element I'm interested in, I can look at its properties and many other things. You can also clear your search results. We'll do that in just a moment. But I want to find in browser, so I can left click in this and it immediately finds it in your project browser. I can right click in this and I can find in diagrams. And if this was this package, because that's what this is, a package element, if this was available, it would show here and I could find it in specific diagrams. All right, let's go ahead and close this. We're in common, the category is common searches, and we're going to go to simple, right? We're in simple, and we have the query builder that's here, right? Let's go ahead and right click in here and clear results, right? And let's go ahead and clear this name out of the filter. We've got toggle filter on, remember that. I like leaving it on as we're going. So you can see in the query builder, they allow you to search elements, alias, name, and notes, and look for whatever's in the search term box. So let's create a package here with some class elements in it. So I'm just going to come up here, right click and create, or use the browser. And we're just going to call this classes, right? Or class, right? And we're going to clear this out, go to all UML structural class, and we're going to create a class diagram. In the class diagram, we are going to open it, and we're going to drag in just 3 classes, all right? So just drag in 3 classes, class 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Let's go ahead and save it. And then let's go back, minimize this, go back to find. And what we want to do is look for anything with class in it. And we're going to hit search, all right? Now you'll notice that it found anything that had class in it. But I don't necessarily want to do that. So what we want to do is we can come up here and just say class 1. So find everything with class 1 in it. And you can see we've got class 1 in various packages throughout this project folder. But I want to find the most recent implementation or use of class 1. So I can right click in here and I can add a filter. I get this dialog box and I want to use date modified. So I want to add it, and I'm not going to make it required yet. We'll do that in the window, and I'm going to hit OK. Right now, modified has been added with a date June 1st, which is today. Right. I want to change the date. I want to notice everything that is after May 31st, and I can come up here and do before equal to. I can change how I'm querying the database to find this. Let's go ahead and run it again. Now you'll notice that I'm getting all these results now of various versions. Let's make the date modified required, all right? And let's hit search again. So now it found the class that was created after May 31st, and it tells you modified date, author, and everything that they have within the search, simple search results that they're giving you. So that's using Query Builder, and there's a lot more that you can do, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. Let's go to the Scratchpad in this particular case. We've already written a SQL statement, and if you're familiar with SQL statement, this should be simple for you. In this case, we're looking to select the name, modify date, author from the T-object table where name equals class 1. And when you're putting in a text, alphanumeric text value, surround them with single quotes. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. In this case, we got the name, the modified date, and the author, all right, as we wanted to in this state. And we could come in here and, well, I don't want to use the way that Sparx laid it out. I want to basically customize this to date underscore. Remember, you see it's blue. That's a keyword. So stay away from keywords. Anyone that writes SQL should understand that. Otherwise, there's other things you can do. Modified, date modified, right? Now let's rerun it. So you can see here it changed the header to what we told it to do when we were looking for these results. And if I want to add to the SQL statement and modify greater than May 31st to constrain the research results, I can rerun this, and now I'm getting similar results as we did in the query builder when we added after this date. So let me rerun it. We're looking at class 1. These are the results we had. So you have the ability to use the query builder or to write your own SQL. I prefer to write my own SQL, and it just makes it easier to get the results that we're looking for. Next, let's take what we've learned and let's create our own custom search. We're going to call this find element after date. We're going to use the SQL editor and I'm going to hit OK. So now if I go back over here and I go to my searches, I see this blank slate. Let's go ahead and clear the results, get everything cleaned up, and let's write a simple, let's use rather the simple SQL that we just wrote in the previous exercise. So we're going to reuse this. We're going to hit save this, and run it to check our results. And I'm getting an error. The reason I'm getting the error, we hit OK, is that I'm using the like, and I have this equal sign in there, and that's causing a problem. What we're going to do now is we're going to put in, let's say class 1 in here, and let's rerun it. It found the results of class 1. Let's look at class 2. Class 2. And now we have something that can find exactly what we're looking for. If I just put in class, the like phrase here, and then pound WC pound is wildcard. So we're looking for everything in the search box that's wildcard before, and we want to do it after. Now we can find elements within our project, and let's put in e-commerce and see what kind of results that we get. We're not getting any results because we're looking for everything that is after May 31st. Let's just put this as a less than, and therefore before May 31st, and let's run it again. So we're getting results. We don't know what type objects these are. So a little tip is that you can come in here and you can put in object type and then comma, let's rerun it. Now you're getting object type, package, artifact, so you know what kind of object or element this is. And another tip is if you go as class type, class type, and rerun this, we're getting these icons instead of the word. So this helps us understand this is a package, these are elements, these are artifacts, etc. All right. So we've learned a great deal in this episode about how to use tables. If you understand the Sparx tables, you can write query and you can write SQL queries. You're able to mine that data any way that you want. So let's just bring in the T objects, which is commonly used, and you understand the attributes that are in the T object table. You're able to write queries that help you better understand what you're dealing with. So you're able to do things around custom diagrams. So we're going to go my searches. We're going to go to the one we just created after. If you understand the elements, the attributes, you're able to very quickly write queries to get the results that you're looking for. And then from there, you can quickly get to notes. If there are any notes, there's nothing on that element. You're able to export your SQL to share with others. You can put it into a repository where others can import, and you can generate documentation and reports from those and much more. I hope this episode has been helpful for you. Thanks very much for the support. Getting a lot of questions about search. It's a very powerful feature within Sparx. And when I'm thinking about model-driven development, model-driven architecture, MDD and MDA, I tend to think of MDD as model-driven data. That's why I chose and mostly use Sparx Enterprise Architect, because this is our intelligence. This is our data. We want the ability to mine this data and use it to drive whatever our objectives are. So again, thanks for watching. And until the next episode, happy modeling.